All right. Thank you for coming to our housekeeping webinar to get everything tidied up for 2025 and get your account ready for a successful 2026. So thank you all for coming, and we are going to go ahead and dive right in. We'd like to start with an inspirational quote, which is basically just congratulating you for being on top of this before the sessions start so that you can get everything ready and hit the ground running. Okay, so hi, I am Karen. So glad to see you, glad to have you here. I will be kind of leading us through this webinar today, and we've got Patsy, who will be my foil. Say hello, Patsy.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
And I am sure that you've all had interactions with Patsy or soon will. And then we also have Stephen here. Say hello to everybody, Stephen.
Hello.
Very good. So Stephen is going to be wrangling the chat. And so he will be answering any questions he can right in the chat, or he will stop us if there's something that we're going to talk about right then, or gather up questions for the appropriate break. So please do say hi in the chat. Let us know where you are. It's always fun to see where everybody is from. And thank you for joining us. And let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and you're also welcome to use the reactions. I like a good reaction. So if you want to send one of those my way, that's always welcome as well. All right, so here we go. Here is our plan for today. We are going to start with a quick run through the new features. So if that is what you came for, we'll hit that first, and then you can bail. So we are going to show you everything that we've added kind of over the summer and a few things more recently so that you can know what all features are included in your account and take advantage of everything that we have available that you're already subscribed to. We also have, then the next section will be housekeeping. So these are the suggestions that we respectfully submit to you for things you might want to do before the session starts, just to make sure that everything is clean and as good as it can be so that when the craziness begins, you are in the best shape possible. And then we will give you suggestions for how you should roll over your sheets to get them ready for the new year. And so you've got a couple options, and I'm going to try to explain those the best I can for the different choices to make when you are rolling over to get ready for the next session. And then I'll give you a little peek at things we are working on, and we're always very interested in your suggestions. So we would love to hear the ideas, the things you think that Build Track 50 should add in the coming year, and we will take those under advisement. Most of our good ideas come from you guys. All right, so are you ready, Patsy?
Oh,
Let's do some new features. Um, we've been very busy. I think that all of us here would agree. So one of the major things that we accomplished in this year was our launching our new regulation tracking 2.0. And so I know you're not all going to be interested in regs, but I'm just going to give a quick little peek so that you can see kind of what it looks like just out of interest. So I'm just going to do a little live demo here. So this is regulations. So we have finally brought regulations parallel with bills as much as we can, considering how different they are. So we've got a bunch more columns now than we had before. Most importantly, each one of these rows is an individual reg. And so as we get new information about this reg, as it moves from proposed, maybe we get a hearing, maybe we get a final notice, all of those are going to be bundled together and attached to this one row. So that is kind of the big thing that we did. If you look at one of these, so let's look at the one here from Arkansas. So we will have the summary for you, and this summary is of all of the documents together, along with the AI's guess at where we are in the regulatory rulemaking process. And then we've got the list of documents. So here's the different things that we have seen for this particular reg. And then you can click on detail to actually see the document itself. And so this will be either a page out of the register, and if it is, it will be chopped up so it's just the page that you actually need to see instead of the whole register. So that is the document. And there is also the summary. And this summary is of just this document, not of the whole reg as a whole. So yeah, pretty straightforward stuff, kind of what you would expect from regulation tracking. But we finally got it to hopefully kind of what you would expect. bunch of additional query options. So you can now query by like the agencies and the different statuses and types of things, same kind of keywords. And then you've got a lot more options for alerts. And so you can set these up so that you only find out when new ones come in or when something you're following gets a new document, something like that. So that's the new reg tracking. Let us know if you want to try it out. We're happy to add it to your account for you to give it a go. So that is a separate tracking subscription. So that's the only, we have two products, bill tracking and regulation tracking. All right. We have also added a new executive orders tool. So this was kind of thanks to some journalism students who thought that this would be cool, and I thought that it was a great idea, so we made it. So here under in our little help area down here, we've got this executive orders. So this is here for everybody to check out. So this is just executive orders at the presidential level. So these are the most recent executive orders that have come out, plus a little summary of them and a link to them on congress.gov. So fine, or really from the Federal Register, I guess. Sorry, from the Federal Register. But the point of it is, if you are interested in what the states are doing as far as the food supply chain, this similar bills will now take you to see how states either, laboratory of democracy, what ideas the states have had on this topic, and maybe that helped influence what happened, or the other way around. So if the executive order is causing the states to react either to do the thing that the executive order is asking for or to resist the thing that the executive order is asking for, we kind of saw a lot of both during the year, which is what made this interesting. Anyway, this similar bills will bring back, here's kind of what states are doing on the food supply chain front. So yeah, so that is just a cool little tool that you can play with. Check that out if you want to go spelunking for interesting things to talk about at a cocktail party. All right. We also have, last year we created a whole new help screen, help center, which was a big achievement for Patsy. A bunch of work, right, Patsy?
Yeah, effort, as everything is. If I could like hit reverse for just a hot second,
Oh, sure, of course.
Karen was just a super duper clarified. She's talking about federal executive orders. There is some existing like state level executive things that are getting scraped, and that is a growth area for us. But if you're like, I want to know what the heck the governors are doing, then you want to be thinking about the regulatory product because that's where it's living at the moment. Okay,
Yes. Sorry if I
let's
didn't get that hard enough. Correct.
put it back in drive. Let's keep going. Yeah, health center.
Health center. So about that. So there's hundreds of articles in there. Again, lots of those are written by Stephen, Patsy, me, and also maybe hundreds of videos, probably hundreds of videos to help you. But if you don't want to read hundreds of articles, we now have new this year this cute little AI chatbot guy who will go read those articles for you and come back with the answer. So give this a try if you get stuck. Of course, you are welcome still to reach out to us. Patsy and I or Kendra or Stephen will also always happy to help you one-on-one. You can have a human intelligence if you prefer, but this is here and it's pretty helpful. Sometimes it makes stuff up, but mostly it will get you the answer you need. So that is here trying to help you get your answers as quick as you can. We also have added a bill bot. So when you are looking at any bill, there is now a new button that says Ask AI, and it will pop up a little place where you can type in a question. And then we will take the bill and we will take your question and we will wrap that all up and send it to Claude. So that is the large language model we like to use. We'll get Claude's answer and give it back to you. So it's just an easy way for you to basically chat with a bill, and then you can ask a follow-up question and get your answer back. So that is just there for you to try out if you want. And have fun with that. We also have an Ask AI on our regs, which I think is there now, or else it'll be there tomorrow. Anyway, that's there as well, so you can chat with a reg. So give that a try if you are interested. Yeah, it's just a convenience. Now, if you are trying to do a budget bill, like a massive bill, we only send the first 50,000 characters. So because that's just kind of how, yeah, for a large language model, that's the chunk that we send. So if you have a massive bill, you might want to go ahead and grab the bill from the documents page on our website or from the state website, of course, and take it to ChatGPT or whatever you like yourself. So this is meant for pretty much anything but a budget bill. So sorry about that, but some of them are too big for us to kind of handle. But 98% of bills will fly through and get you all of the answers that you need. We do recommend, if it's like mission critical, you ask it what section it's getting that information from so that you can kind of double check the bill. You know, just general good practice for AI is to double check, but it should be able to quote you the section and the, that it's actually reading from to help you. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Actually, we've enjoyed using it and having that. Okay, and then we also have a merch store. Hooray! So if you last minute Christmas items, if you're still struggling, we've got some stuff for you. So if you need a tote bag that says Viltry 50, then we have the store for you. Okay, so that is some of the new stuff that we've got this year. Hopefully some of that turns out to be super useful for you. We've got a couple littler things that I sort of wanted to highlight before we move on. And then I will throw it to Patsy for anything she wants to highlight. But last year, as you know, or maybe you don't, but last year we consolidated all of our different products into one single subscription. So that means that you now have in your subscription the scorecards. So check those out. If you want to do legislator scorecards, let us know and we will help you get started with that. But that is in your account and you can do that. And of course, there's lots of help in the Help Center. We have added all of the enterprise management features. So if you want to manage a group of people and give a group of people access to all the same bill sheets, or if you have a group of bill sheets and you want to just be able to add people to it. For example, if you are a national organization and you have a state chapter and you just want to get everybody set up with the same stuff, those features are now available to you. If that sounds helpful, if you've got departments or chapters or whatever, or if you support other organizations, let us know. We can help you kind of form those groups and show you how that tool works. And then we also have afternoon alerts is in there, mobile stakeholder pages. So all that stuff is now included in your subscription. Enjoy. We also have added a new report type. So when you go and make a report, you can export it to, there's still the Excel and the CSV. And then last year we added the PDF. Now, when you export the PDF, you can switch it over and say, actually, I want it in HTML, and then you can put it in newsletters or put it on a website or whatever else you might want to do with an HTML version of your report. So that's just an option that a few people wanted, so we added that in. We used to not have summaries on resolutions, but we've gone ahead and added that in. So now, like, there's summaries on everything. And then finally, the legislator export, which I actually want to show you last, but definitely not least. There is this new tools area here, which we're hoping to add some more tools, but for right now, it's just legislator export. So you can pick a state and then export the whole state. So this will show you the states that you are subscribed to. So if you have a national subscription, great. Or if you're just subscribed to a state or two, then that's what will appear here. And then you can export that and it will put all the legislators out to Excel and their contact info. So you can use that for a mail merge, or you can use that to keep track of who you've contacted, or a whip count, or whatever you need it for. That does get updated every day, so it should be the right people all the time. So take advantage of that. That is a new thing that we're able to do that hopefully will be super useful. So that's there for you to use. All righty. Patsy, anything new that you would like to talk about that I did not go over?
I think you covered a lot of ground, a lot of things that, are very exciting. Legislator exports are that's going to give you the legislator. It's not going to give you the staff in the export. And also, I would suggest, depending on how you structure your work, that, when you export one, you might want to, have a column for things like what committees they're on, or, if they represent your particular region, or things like that. So remember, obviously, with an export, you can append any helpful information beyond what it gives you.
Yeah, very good. What they said when you called, that kind of thing. Perfect. Okay, so that is it for the new features. Hopefully something in there intrigued you and you're excited to get back into Build Track 50 and get started again. Doing our best to get you excited about this task. So let's take a look at how you can get your account all fresh and ready, spring clean in the fall, we like to say, since sessions are coming. Okay, so users. As you know, your subscription includes all the users you want, and you can add as many people as you like, and hopefully you have. Because emails, the alerts are customizable, we really want you to add everybody in so that everybody can get their own alerts. So hopefully you have. But, people come and go. So once a year, we ask you, please look at your user list and kind of remove anybody who shouldn't have access anymore. So if they don't work there anymore, or for whatever, they've moved into a new role, whatever, please remove anyone who shouldn't have access anymore. And then also, you might want to double check anyone that you think you maybe gave is new and you want to make sure they have the right level of access or has changed what they're doing and you want to change their level of access. So it's a good time to just kind of double check. Should they be a security admin and be able to add users or not, or what should they be able to do? And then we've got the new user management tool, which we debuted late last year, which let me just kind of show you all these things real quick. So up here under your account menu, there is manage users. And so this is where you can go in and review everybody and see who you might want to change their access. So, well, okay, that was a bad example because that's me. But I can come in here and I can say delete, and that will remove them just from my account. It doesn't delete them entirely from the world, but it does mean they won't be able to access your account anymore. Or this is where you see like what level of access you've given them, and maybe you want to adjust that. And then, so just kind of double check everybody is how you want and see if there's anybody missing. Is there somebody new that you just haven't gotten around to adding yet? Now would be a good time before the year starts so they can get their sea legs before, it all happens. And then we've got this user permission summary. So if you have a permission to add users, you should have this option. If you don't, then you won't. But this lets you see who all can see what. Or you can switch it around and say, okay, let's look at all the sheets. And then you can see like who has permission to see each different sheet. So yeah, I could do these different things. So you can kind of go through here and just remind yourself who has access to what. So this can be a reminder for like if you remember to add everybody to all the right sheets, or if you ever need to see like what all has this person made, anything like that. So this is just a tool for you to like get your arms around who has permission to see what bill sheet or what reg sheet right here all in one place. So that is just here, the user permission summary. So that's just you trying to get all your users under control before the year gets going. So let us know if you have like a long list of users. We can help you get those all added. You can email us. But otherwise, please just kind of go through there, make sure everybody is current, and remove people who aren't and add people that you need to add before the year starts. Okay. Tidying up your bills and regs. Of course, you can delete sheets that you just made for on a whim and you don't really need. You can archive anything you're done with, or you can hide things that you don't think you want to delete, but you don't need to see in your list. So you can see here my bill sheets, I've got 76 of them. That's a bit much, probably. I could delete some of these that I don't need, or maybe I can hide some of them at least to get this down to a list that is actually useful for me. So maybe this DEI in Ohio, maybe I made this just because I was trying to look something up. On the Manage tab, there is this delete button, and that will just remove a bill sheet and then it's gone. Same exact thing works for reg sheets. So that way you can get your list as short as possible, just so that it makes it easier for you to find the things that you do care about. And then there is this archive bill sheet, which we will talk more about in a minute, but this will take the bill sheet and lock it in place and move it to the bottom out of the way, so that you can refer to it later, but it gets out of the way, it gets removed from this list, so that you just get it out of your way, so that only active sheets are there at the top for you to actually work on. So that is, you can delete it if it was just a one-off and you don't need it anymore, go ahead and delete it. If you would like to refer to it again in the future, but it isn't an active thing you're doing, you can just archive it. And then I mentioned about hiding. So that means go up to manage users and choose yourself. And then you can go to all the different bill sheets and you can see this one from the 2019 census. That is harkening back. I have set this to none. So this sheet is still in here because I used it for some blog posts. And so I didn't want to get rid of it. I still want those bills to be in the blog post, but I don't need to see it in my account anymore. So I set the permission to none. So it's still here. It's still in the company account, but it's not in my list anymore, cluttering up my world. So you can do that and then save that, and then it won't appear in your list anymore. Now, when you make these changes, they take a few minutes to go through, up to 5 minutes to go through. So it doesn't disappear immediately, but it will disappear reasonably quickly. And that way, this list of things is the things you're actually going to work on in the new year. Same exact thing for regs. So we highly recommend you kind of take a minute to tidy up and get that all where it should be. And so that's the difference between deleting, archiving, and hiding. Any questions on that or any points you want to make, Patsy?
Um, so some of you might be like, why would I copy and then archive? And like that exists for a reason. Some of my favorite reasons are if, Karen did that and she shared something to me, the sharing stays intact, right? Um, or maybe you're a website map person and you want the map to be fed by the new sheet and point to the right place.
Well, that's rollover, so we can talk about that.
Yeah, but just there's a reason why you would copy and archive. It exists for a reason. Don't delete if you don't have to, would be my advice. Because you can have as many sheets as you want. And maybe future you wants to look back at the 2019 census. But if it's a sandbox sheet, go ahead and delete it.
Very good. Yes, yeah, we're not. Oh, yeah, only delete things you really don't need. That's very good advice. All right. Now alerts. This is just a word to the wise, and Patsy and I have both learned this the hard way. If you create a bill sheet or a reg sheet, by default, we have no alerts turned on. So you don't immediately start getting emails because we don't know what you want, and probably you don't even want any emails for it. So you have to go to the alerts tab and check what you want on purpose. Now, if you made a sheet over the summer and it's exactly the sheet you want, you may not realize you forgot to turn the alerts on because your state's out of session anyway. So if you've made some new sheets, it's a good idea to go in and double check that you've got the alerts set up like you want them to, so that when the state starts putting some bills out, you start getting the alerts you expect. So we don't want you to miss alerts just because you didn't realize because the state was out of session. So anything new you've created over the summer that you weren't using last year, highly recommend you go through and just kind of double check that your alerts are set like you think they are. Just will save you trouble in January or February or April, depending on your state. Also, as long as you're kind of going through that, it's a good chance to just kind of double check your query terms, make sure you're pretty happy with them. And your filters, like make just a quick glance at your query tab, especially for new things, just to make sure that everything is like you expect it to be. Just a minute here to get everything reviewed will pay dividends in the future. So that's our suggestions there, especially for ones that are new. Just double check that it is like you think it is. Okay, so that is what we suggest for tidying up. Check out your users, delete anything you're not using, and a little bit of double checking to make sure everything is as it should be. Now, let's talk about how to get your existing sheets ready for the new year. So the sheets that you're wanting to carry forward and keep using, then these are the steps we suggest you take. And like Patsy was saying, we do have a method to our madness, which I'm happy to explain as we go along so that you know why I'm saying this in quite this way. Okay, so if you have done work on a sheet, so if you have removed bills that aren't relevant, if you have a column where you have set your position or other comments, if you have handpicked some bills and put them onto a sheet to share on your website, whatever it might be, if you have done work, then we highly, highly recommend you save that work for future you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over. So I have, for example, these key bills that I have created. So these are the bills that I have set up and that I am sharing with a certain group of people. And these are the bills that I thought were important. So I'm going to continue to use this sheet and share this sheet, and it's going to be on my website and it's going to be shared with some other people. But I want to get it ready for the new year. So before I do that, I want to take a snapshot of it. So this is what you do. I'm going to open it up, and then on the Manage tab, I have this copy button. So I'm going to take a copy of this sheet. So this is the first step. Copy it. All right. And then it says, well, here's a name we suggest. I'm going to change this to just 2025 key bills. I like to put the year in it. You can do whatever you want that makes sense to you, name of the session or what have you, so that you know what this is. So I'm going to go ahead and say copy. Oh, real quick, user data, that is any data you have entered, your positions, your comments, links you put in there, whatever. Alert settings is the alert settings. So for this copy, since this is just a snapshot, I don't need to get alerts on it. I'll still be getting alerts on my main sheet. So we're not copying the alert settings over. But if you are using the copy for a different reason, for example, you are making a copy so that you can set up the same query in a different state or something like that, you might want to take the alert settings with you. So usually you're just wanting to take your comments and not your alert settings. That's how we have it by default, but use these. They're here so that you can change them around. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to copy this. So now I am on the new copy. So it closed the old one and it opened up the new one, and I can tell because that's the name at the top. So I'm definitely in my copied sheet. So this is now all of the bills that you had. It's going to be all of the bills that you hid. It's going to be the query setup. It's everything, and including your comments and everything else. So it's a full copy. So now I'm going to go ahead and archive this. So this is step 2. First, make a copy. Second, archive the copy. So I'm going to go ahead and say archive and then say save. And this is our logic for this. You want to have this to refer to in the future. You might want to know what you were following last year and the year before and the year before, so that you start to build up your intelligence and your trends, or just so you can answer questions, or just so you can remind yourself. For whatever reason, you might want to be able to look back. And as Patsy said, you just don't want to lose information that you don't have to. And you can have as many sheets as you want. So we really recommend you do this. All right, so I took my copy, I archived it. The archive removed the X's so that you don't accidentally remove any bills. On the query tab, it turns it all gray so that you don't accidentally change this. So basically, it's just locking it in place. Also, it's going to stop updating it. So the bill sheet, if you've got the like the bill progress or the actions, like those will update and stay current with like where that bill actually is, but it's not going to check for new bills and add new bills. So if you can also use archive, like I mentioned, I used a set to put into a blog post. If you don't want it to change after you post it, you can archive it and then it will lock it in place as well. But anyway, so you've got this saved for posterity and you can't change it, which is the whole idea. If you need to, you can go to the Manage tab and you can unarchive it, and that's fine. But for the moment, it's locked in place, and this is a record of what you did. There's this little archive bubble here to remind you like why everything's gray. The other thing it did, which I briefly mentioned before, but it takes it out of the top here and it moves it down to the bottom into the set of archived things. So it moves it out of the way down to the bottom so that you've got these different things that I've saved, like this one. So it also just kind of pushes it down out of your way. Then I still have this as my main sheet. So the point is this sheet is still my live sheet. So anyone I've shared it with, or if it's on my website or whatever, it's still live. It's still the same thing. Any if you have asked me to write custom code for you, that will all still work. So by keeping the main sheet the same sheet, everything that was set up for this sheet continues to work into the new year, just like you would want it to. And you have taken a copy and archived that. So that's why we prefer you not to start over with a new bill sheet, but rather to take a snapshot, put it away, and then continue forward with that same sheet you were using, so that anything we've built around that sheet, any maps you've made, as Patsy mentioned, anything else you've made will continue to roll forward into the new year, just simplifying life for everybody. You don't have to do it that way. That is just our recommendation. If you do start a new sheet, then if you did have widgets, you just need to change that code on your website. Or if you had shared it with somebody, you'll need to share the new one with, like you could do that. But it's easier in our experience if you do it this way. So simple snapshot, take the copy, archive the copy, good to go. Now, it could be that I've archived that copy and now I don't really want to see it in my list at all. Like I just want to put it away completely. That's where I can go up and do that hide thing. So I can just go up in there and say, I don't want to see it. And then when I do need to refer to it, I can just go into there and say, I do want to see it right now. So once you hide it, you can always unhide it. So you can actually put them completely away and completely out of your list if you prefer. But we do encourage that you take these snapshots and then archive them. So that is how you back up any work you've done. Now, if you have a sheet that's just like a query and it's just showing you bills and you use it to feed other sheets or whatever, and you haven't done any work on it, well, then you don't need to back it up. So this is only for sheets you've done work on. You've hidden bills, you've, added comments, it's just a sheet of bills you've purposely handpicked. Those are the sheets you want to back up. So hopefully that makes sense. Patsy, any comments about this? Because this is one of the most important things that we're going to tell you today.
Actually, that last part you just said, just that, if with you thinking about this part of it is probably, to my mind, one of the more important things that you'll hear about today.
Okay, so if you are nervous about this, understandable. We're happy to hold your hand while you do it. So you're absolutely welcome to set up a meeting with us and we'll do it together. Or you can ask us to do it for you, which we are willing to do. But as you see, it's actually pretty easy. After you've taken your snapshot, it makes sense to go ahead and double check that your website's still working how you want it to, which is another good thing to do once a year. Just make sure the widgets and the maps and everything are doing what you think they should be doing. Once in a while, take a look at your website. Make sure it's all like you think it should be. Okay, now let's take your current sheet and move it into the new year. So here is how you get your 2025 sheet and turn it into a 2026 sheet. Okay, so I have key bills. These are my 2025 bills. On the query tab, I have what year this is searching. So, and I've also added some individual bills by hand. So the current session right now is going to be all the 2025 sessions, whether or not they're over, and then any pre-files for 2026. So states have started pre-filing for 2026. We kind of consider that to be current session too, and we start putting those into your bill sheet. So maybe you've already started getting those alerts. So Stephen, what states do we already have bills for 2026?
Well, there are loads at this point. All the states raring to get started in January are effectively pre-filing now. So I'll quickly run through the list. We have Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Missouri, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Virginia, Washington, and Wyoming. And that's according to the latest list published by Legiscan, our data provider. And so I'll drop a link to that in the chat. And also to our blog post about pre-filing.
Perfect. Thank you. So if you don't want the pre-files in here for any reason, you can change this current session to session years. And you can say, I only want 2025. Or you want whatever time you want. But if you say just 2025, we will leave out the 2026 pre-files. So if you're not ready to see those yet, you can change this and say just 2025, but then remember in January to come and like change it to 2026. So that is how you can kind of leave the pre-files out and keep it just to 2025. Or if you are ready to switch your point of view entirely to 2026, then you can change this to 2026. And then you will only get bills from biennials. So for states that have a 2025-2026 session, those bills will still be in here. And then any bills from just 2025 single year sessions will drop out. Now, when we get into 2026, so in January 1st or 2nd, whenever I get a chance to flip them all over, all of the 2025s will fall out naturally if you have it set to current session. But if you want to force that to happen now, then just take your timeline and make it 2026. And that will get rid of anything that is a 2025 single year session. So that is how you are completely in control of when you get the new bills, the pre-files. So you can leave it to the default behavior current session, which right now is a mix of 2025, 2026. And then come early January, all the 2025 will drop out. Or you can force it to be one or the other. And that is how. And again, if it's a biennial state, then the 2025 bills can still pass in 2026, so we leave them in. So anything introduced in 2025 for a biennial will still be in your bill sheet next year. It's only the single year sessions that get dropped out. So if you have any questions about that, you can absolutely ask those questions in the chat and we'll try to help, or reach out to us and we'll try to explain better if that didn't make sense. So that is how you set the timeline. So we like current session, like that's a good choice. But you might want to, if you do mess around with this is like, you like to set it to control which years you're seeing. It's a good time to go ahead and double check your bill sheets and make sure that you have these set correctly. So if you set them to be just 2025 last year, then you're definitely going to want to like review that now to make sure that you're going to get the new bills when the new year starts. So another thing to kind of double check if this is something that you do. If you like to leave them on just current session, great, then you should be in great shape. Okay, so that is the main thing about getting the timeline set up. The other thing is if you have added bills individually, then these bills, like this is this specific bill from whatever year that bill was from. So these might be old. So if I hover over this remove, it will turn red any bills that are from an old session. So in this case, that means, because it's 2025 right now, these bills were from 2024 or before. So these are old bills that I might not want to show anymore. So if I click remove, it'll actually kick those all out. Boom, and now I only have the current bills. Now note, this will include 2025 bills because it's currently 2025. So this is something that you might want to come back in January. And if you have bill sheets where you've added a lot of bills by bill number, either by using the plus or by actually typing the bill numbers in, then this is a good, easy way to get rid of the 2025 single year bills and drop those out all with just one click. So we call this the out of session bill, OOSB. OOSB. So it's the OOSB tool. So yeah, you just click remove and then they're gone. I don't want to actually remove them. I'm going to leave them. But that's how you can get rid of old bills from your bill sheet very easily. The other thing you might want to do is on the hidden tab, any bills that you've hidden stay hidden forever. And we've done that on purpose because if you change your query and misspell a word or something, and you get back no bills, well, then you're just going to go fix your spelling mistake and get your bills back. You don't want to lose everything you've hidden. Like, that would be terrible, which we did learn the hard way in the early days. So we just keep track of everything you've ever hidden, and it stays hidden. So that means this list could get quite long over time, which is not a problem. It doesn't hurt anything. But if you like to come in here and review stuff and look at like the last thing you hid or if you use this to figure out when things were amended compared to when you hid them, all of that kind of stuff, it might be easier to keep this to just the current set of bills. So this update all button, what that will do is remove any bills that no longer meet your query, just the years and the states. So this will remove anything from previous years, basically. Or if you've changed the states on your query, it will remove anything from states you are not tracking anymore. So that's just a quick way to kind of clean this guy up so that it is only it's only showing you hidden bills that are relevant. But use that with caution because you don't want to, yeah, they're here. We keep the hidden bills so that when you add new bills, like it remembers what's hidden. Hopefully that made sense when I explained it. So those are two little tidying up things you can do. Exact same thing for regulations, except with regulations, of course, there's no sessions. They just kind of run all the time. So instead, on the query tab, there is a time frame. So you can either set it to a fixed date range, which used to be the only option, or now you can do a rolling date range. So you'll want to double check and make sure, especially if you have a fixed date range, that it's an appropriate span of time. Or if it's a rolling date range, of course, it's just rolling forward. So then you're probably good. So there's no timeline. Instead, there's this. But otherwise, it's the same stuff with the hidden and with the ones that you've added. All right. Well, actually, they never go out of session, so there's no USB tool here.
Point of clarification, what is the rolling date from the last time there was something on the regulation or the first time it came into the system?
So when we say date, what date do we mean? What we've decided to do is the date is the most recent date on any document we've seen for that reg. So if a reg gets a new document, then it becomes new again and it will show up in your reg sheet for the next year. So if a reg was fine and it's sitting there peacefully for years and it gets a rule review, then it will pop back up into your reg sheet as meeting this date range. So that's a very good question, Patsy. Thank you. That's the date for regs. It's the most recent date of any document that we have seen for that reg.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that is how we suggest that you get everything ready for the new year. So you want to change your timeline if necessary, or leave it to current session if you're happy with that. And then you can remove your out of session bills or adjust your timeline for your regs, and then clean out the hidden bills or the hidden regs as appropriate to keep that all tidy. Okay, so as we mentioned, pre-filing is starting. Stephen let you know which states we've already seen. I talked briefly about the biennials, but a few states are special that I want to call out. So New Jersey is the only state that is 2024, 2025. But they don't end right on January or December 31st. In fact, they end January, whatever, 10th or something. So those will stay there for just a little while and then fall out. So you will have 2024 bills in your bill sheet for a few days into January before all the 2024 and 2025 New Jerseys fall out based on current session or based on your years. That's just their session. That's just what they do. So there's that. And then Hawaii, Oklahoma, and New Hampshire, we treat as biennials. The way that they have their state website set up, they keep, well, not just the state website, but they keep the same bill numbers and carry them forward into the next year. And so we take all of those bills that have carried over and we carry them over for you into the new year. And we just treat them as if it's the same bill. So we take your comments, we take what you've hidden, what you haven't, all of that just moves over with them into the next year. So that will just act like normal. And maybe I don't even need to make this point, but if you were following a Hawaii bill in 2025 and you click on it in 2026, it will say it's a 2026 bill, even though you started following it in 2025. And that's just because kind of the way they set up their website. But they're all the same bill numbers. All your comments come with them. Everything comes over into the new year. So as far as you're concerned, you don't have to do anything. I just point out like those three have a little bit of a special situation, but it should not cause you any trouble. But if you get confused because of what you see, that's why. And always happy to hear from you if you have questions or you think something's not quite right. Okay, so that is the session, getting ready for the new session as far as setting your timeline in your bill sheet. Okay, so for regulations, I kind of already covered it. You can change your time frame as appropriate. And of course, you can remove any regs that are done and you don't need them anymore. So if it finished, but do be careful. Like I mentioned, like rule reviews. So if a reg like it comes back up and it gets reviewed, then if you have hidden it, it won't come back because you hid it. As I mentioned, we save what was hidden forever. So you might want to make some comments to yourself if something was relevant, but you hid it because it was not active anymore and you didn't need it in your reports or whatever. So you could add yourself a column that says like relevant, like I'm relevant, but I'm putting this to sleep, or, you know, keep an eye on this or whatever. And then when you hide it, that column is in your hidden so that you can still see what your comments were about it. Now, we do want to help you not miss a bill that you hid that got changed and became relevant, or not miss a reg that you hid that gets a new document and suddenly becomes relevant. So we have two tools. That's not true. We have two tools each. So this hidden tab, I kind of blew past it, but I want to highlight it now. We'll show you when you hit it and the last time it was amended. So I've kind of moved that over. Where am I? Oh, this is regs. So then you can see when you put it on this and when it was hidden. You can also see the last date, which I've got here. So this is, I could pull this sideways to compare them side by side. So I can take a quick look and see when I hit it versus when the last document was. So that just gives me a chance to see, has it changed since I hit it? Exact same thing on bills. We'll show you the last amended date and when you hit it. So you can see if it changed since you hit it. Do you want to do that to every bill sheet every day? I don't know, but we definitely want to make sure you can check that out. But we also have another tool to help make that a more practical proposition. So here under alerts, we have this amended bill sheet. Well, first we have the main alerts. So this is the regulation sheets. This is everything that has changed sheet by sheet. Make this a little bigger. So on my minimum wage sheet, I see I have one new bill and there's 2 votes, and then I can see exactly what they are by clicking on this detail. So this is pretty much just showing you your daily alert. But that just lets you see real quick, did any of your bills get voted on or what was new or whatever. Same exact thing for regulations. So this guy had some new regs get added to it. Now, amended bill sheets will show you sheets where there is a bill that was amended since you hit it. And we will keep them there for a year or for a week. So if it gets amended, we will leave it here on this list for you so that you know that a bill got amended since you hit it. And if you check anytime during the week, you will see it. So if you just come in here once a week, it'll show you for across all of your bill sheets if anything's been amended so that you can glance at it. Exact same thing here, updated regulations. So this will show you a list of the sheets you've got and the individual reg that got a new document since you hid the reg. So this is us trying to make sure you don't miss anything. So if you check this once a week, then you'll see if anything changed since you hit it. It's very important to be able to hide things to keep your sheets relevant, to have just the bills that you actually care about. But we don't want you to miss anything because you were being very diligent. So that is just highlighting about hiding things, and like we're trying to give you these tools so you don't miss anything. So I just wanted to highlight that we've got this tool here and this tool here. This is kind of, I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but now you do know about it. Okay. So be careful hiding. Patsy?
So, agreed. Be careful hiding. If you're newer, let's put a like really fine point on why hiding can be helpful. Um, Hiding ties back to your alerts, for example. So, like, whatever you're selecting in your alerts is going to be looking at what's on the bill sheet. But if you hide it, right, because you're for fill in the blank reason, then you make sure that you're not getting too much noise in your alerts, right? And then also hiding can be helpful for making sure that you are reporting various export ways or via stakeholder page or via widget that you're reporting what you intend to report and keeping it clean and keeping your members from calling you and wondering why bill 1234 is there. What the heck does it have to do with anything? So I just want to put a fine point on why Karen just spent that much time talking about hiding is so that what you're actively doing is focused as best as possible, and you don't then start discarding your email alerts as being useless because it's alerting you about a bunch of stuff that you don't really care about.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. So Xing stuff out is what we mean by hiding. So just using this X to kind of cull out the things you don't need. So as you saw, I was removing just budget bills and technical corrections because I will need them. Okay, so that's hiding, and we belabored that point. Sorry about that, but hopefully that is helpful. Okay, so coming soon, quick little preview. So any questions about either saving your sheets and snapshots or rolling over and getting them ready for the new year before we do our quick little preview of the future? Or Stephen, if there's anything you think I missed before we get to the coming soon?
No, then we're good.
All righty, here we go. So just real quick, kind of the future is fuzzy, but we are working on adding a prompt bill sheet column, which we're pretty darn excited about. And now we've got it running nightly, which is pretty cool. So for example, this AI sheet, I could say, hey, I'm going to say this transparency guy. Let's look at this Nebraska bill. And so I've got this Ask AI button, right? So I'm going to say, I have a company that uses generative AI to create summaries for bills. Will this bill impact my business? Tell me yes, no, or maybe. Okay, so I'm going to submit that. And it's going to come back. It's going to go, well, I don't know. Let me read the bill. Let me see what it says. And it says, maybe it says that I have to do this and then these things. Great. So that is helpful to me. But really, I want to know about that for all the bills that might affect me, right? So on my bill sheet, I have added a new column called personal notes. And you can now send us your prompt once you're happy with it, and we will put it in the column of your choice. And then you can see the answer to all of those. So we'll run that prompt against all the bills in your bill sheet, and then you can get this. So now I can see what I probably should look at to make sure. So I need to say content generated by artificial intelligence. So my AI summary had best say AI summary when I show it. I should say AI summary. So stuff like that. You can use this to categorize bills. You can use this to figure out if they're relevant. You can use this to decide like whatever you would generally use AI for. And we will run this prompt against all your bills and put them in this column. So this is still in beta, but it's coming right along. I've got this one updating automatically every night, which I'm pretty excited about. So if you want to work on this, go ahead and use the Ask AI until you're happy with your prompt. Send it on over along with telling us which bill sheet you want to use it and what column you want us to put it in. And we will set that up for you, and you can see how it works. See if that would be useful to you. We've used it so far to tell if bills are raising taxes on a specific product. We've used it to figure out if it's extending deadlines for a certain reason. We've used it to figure out if it has environmental impact stuff in it. We've used it to figure out this, like if this bill is going to affect my business. And we've also used it to categorize bills by giving it like some specific categories and examples of what those categories would be. Pretty much it works, as well as AI works, which is better all the time. So that is one new feature that I wanted to kind of highlight. Please reach out if you'd like to try it out. We're also working on semantic searching, meaning instead of putting in keywords, you could just say what you mean. So far, it's mixed results as far as like saying gun control and getting it to give us back bills about ammunition or what other, concealed carry, all that kind of stuff. So we're hoping to be able to get that going during the year. We'll let you know when that's ready to try. We are looking at trying to extract data from the regs using AI. So right now, all the data in the reg is actually not from AI, except for the AI summary, of course, but it is from the metadata or other things that we can get out of the bill itself, and not us asking an AI to try to figure out the hearing date. We have asked the AI to try to figure out the hearing date. Stephen, how's that going so far?
Probably about 85% accurate. It's not quite good enough, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we keep kind of working with it and playing with it and giving it different things. So it's not good enough yet, but hopefully we'll be able to get some more of the data populated for the regs by using AI to figure out hearing dates and stuff. Okay. So then other things, we're going to try to link bills to the underlying statute. So that's in progress. That would be great if when you're reading a bill and it's saying what law it's changing, if you could click and read the law. Obviously, we would love to do that. Patsy briefly mentioned that we are adding state executive orders in there. So right now, federal ones are there. Some states are finished, and we're adding more all the time. So we're trying to get all of the state executive orders in as part of the reg tracking. Also adding to the reg tracking public utility commission dockets. We're just getting started on that. We're seeing if we'll be able to scrape those and put those in there. So if you're interested in that, please let us know so that we can let you know when that's ready to take a look. But it'll just go in as part of the reg searching. It'll be a new reg type. And then we are trying to get better topic searching so that you can narrow by topic. So right now we have committee category as a way that you can narrow stuff down, but we've got some ideas to make it even better. And obviously we're interested in your ideas too. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we'll be sending you a list of resources. I mentioned the Help Center. Please do make an appointment with us if you need us. And we have a newsletter letting you know everything that we're adding and changing and new features. Plus, we have a post covering this webinar material. We also have lots of stuff like our Substack and our podcast and our merch. So we'll be sending you links to all of this in the thank you email. And please do reach out to us if you need us. And I ran right into time, but happy to take any last minute questions. Otherwise, I guess.
We have one comment from Tom. Says, perennial suggestion from me, would love for the events calendar to track floor considerations, not just committee consideration of bills. I know the way some states list floor calendars makes this hard, but it would be great to at least track this in states where it's possible.
Hi, Tom. Obviously a good suggestion. I will take that back under advisement, and we'll do a survey of the states and see what we can do. Because you're right, some states we could, but some states we can't. But yes, it's worth chasing, and that might be more practical now for various reasons. So we'll give that another look-see. Thank you for the suggestion and bringing it up. All right. So thank you, everybody, for coming. It's been great to see you. Hopefully, you're excited to try some of the new features and you have some confidence about getting ready for the new year. 100% reach out to us if you have any doubts or need any help, or if you screw something up and you need us to try to put it back. We're happy to do that. We've got lots of backups, so like we're always here to help however we can. So good luck with the new sessions, everybody, and we will hopefully see you on the flip side. Yeah, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.